Good morning and welcome back to Keto Living with Dale and Judith. Today's video is a full week of my keto meal planning. Breakfast every morning for the last 8 years of eating keto is high-fat coffee. Now with coconut milk. Half a cup, which makes the coffee 3 grams of net carbs, and I sweeten it with a half a teaspoon of liquid stevia. No added carbs with that. In the beginning, I had my coffee with heavy cream, but I'm allergic to dairy. And finally, after years, I gave up dairy, so I focus on coconut milk. Right now, I'm having coffee twice a day. Working out in the cold garden, I like to come back in for a morning snack of a second coffee. So it's breakfast and morning snack during the winter. My afternoon snack every day is keto coconut milk yogurt, mixed with 1 tablespoon of chia seeds. Half a cup of keto coconut milk yogurt and 1 tablespoon of chia seeds is 3.9 grams of net carbs. And I'm using these thermoses because, especially in the summer, I like to bring it out into the garden. And I can also just bring it on the go. And every day I add in different keto fruits, either berries, lemon juice, or lime juice. I typically puree the berries and freeze them into 1-ounce cubes. The juice into 2 tablespoon cubes, and then I alternate every day, and that gives me variety. For fruit, I like to have a set daily menu. That way I don't have to think about which fruit I want to eat. So Sundays, blackberries, which is 1.2 grams of net carbs for 1 ounce. Mondays, blueberries, which is the highest, 3.4 grams of net carbs per ounce. Tuesday is cranberries. Looking at my notes, 2.3 grams of net carbs. And Thursday is lemon juice, 2 grams of net carbs for 2 tablespoons. Thursday, check my notes again. Thursday is lime juice, which is 2.4 grams of net carbs for 2 tablespoons. Friday is 1 ounce of raspberries, 1.5 grams of net carbs. And Saturday is strawberries, 1.5 grams of net carbs. Like I said, this gives me some variety with the yogurt, and some of these are homegrown. Hopefully soon we'll have fresh raspberries. Now you can buy keto yogurt. I suggest Ratio Trio, but I'm allergic to dairy, so I make my own. But soon, next month, Dale's having his liver transplant, and after that, he's not going to be allowed to eat any home fermented foods. Even though I'm very careful, I keep everything clean when I make the yogurt. Still, I'm going to have to start buying him keto yogurt. he's not allergic to dairy. So I plan to start feeding him the Keto Ratio Trio yogurt. You have to be flexible and do the best you can with your diet. Now I make the yogurt without the chia seeds or the liquid stevia. And then I mix up 1 week's worth at a time. So that was a week's worth that you just saw. And every morning I add my fruit. I don't add a week's worth of fruit at a time because I think it would spoil. And this is today's. I didn't put this in a thermos. But today's yogurt is with 1 ounce of strawberries because today's Saturday. This is half a cup of yogurt with 1 tablespoon of chia seeds and 1 ounce of strawberries. I eat keto to lose weight, but also to help manage my arthritis. I have rheumatoid arthritis. I do use traditional medicine with my arthritis. I have a weekly biologic injection that helps me tremendously. So I'm not against modern medicine. And this is a good time to mention that these videos are not medical advice. They're just my experience. So please discuss any diet with your doctor. So before the keto diet, it was difficult to function. The RA hit me, then we had some other family crisis pop up. And I decided that I needed to become independent. I was dependent on an electric wheelchair and a walker, and I couldn't function. It was time to get serious about weight loss. And I knew about keto. I had done it years ago very successfully, but I had stopped and gained all my weight back. So I decided this was it. I'm going to lose the weight, and it's not coming back. I'm tired of being dependent on people. So wintertime is a perfect time for me to increase my broth consumption because that's good for arthritis. It's good for our joints. It's good for our aging in general. Because staying active as we age is key to staying independent. So lately I've been having 4 cups of broth every day. I did recently reduce some from 1 cup to 4, and this week I'll be using some of those. Yes, it takes time to make my own broth, but you can buy broth. Try to find high quality broth. Typically right now I simmer the broth with my meat and make like a soup. In summertime, I doubt I drink 4 cups of broth a day. Those are reduced, but the ones in the bags, they haven't been reduced. On a recent prep video, I said that the 4 cups of broth I reduced to 1 was 1.1 grams of net carbs, but no, that's when I make my broth with added vegetables, vinegar, and things. So this broth is only chicken, so there's no added carbs. I eat very simply, and I love meat. I'd rather eat meat than keto breads, cookies, or desserts. I like to focus most of my calories on meat and, of course, fats. Monday through Friday this week, I will be eating chicken thighs. 2 thighs, which is about a pound raw. When I get home from the store, I go ahead and package them up into 2 thighs each. It really helps me with portion control. And right now I'm busy in the garden, working in the house and being outside, simmering the chicken thighs in the broth for an hour, 2 or 3, depending on what my project is. That's the easiest right now. And I do count calories as well as net carbs. So the meat doesn't have any carbs, but it does have calories, so I keep my eye on that. I can eat a pound a day because I'm very active. Now on Sunday, I'm going to have a pound of shrimp. This is from Walmart, and it does have added water, and you're going to lose about 1/3 of the weight. It's also very low in fat, so when I cook it in the skillet, I'm going to add 4 tablespoons of ghee. You could use butter. Yes, that's a lot of fat, but this is very low in fat. And shrimp does have a little bit of carbs, so 1 pound is going to have 0.9 grams of net carbs. After I cook it in the ghee, which doesn't have any carbs, I'll set it aside, and then I'll simmer the broth and the squash together. And I'll blend that up into like a sauce. The squash has already been roasted, so it's 227 grams raw worth of squash, which equals 5 grams of net carbs. I like to portion my vegetables into 5-gram net carb portions. I even have a little old cheat sheet over here. So Sunday breakfast is coffee, 3 grams of net carbs. Morning snack after working outside is 3 grams of net carbs. Lunch, 1 pound of shrimp, 0.9 grams of net carbs. 1 serving of roasted squash, which is 5 grams of net carbs, with 4 cups of broth. And I'm going to use 1 cup of the reduced broth and 4 tablespoons of ghee. Afternoon snack is half a cup of keto coconut milk yogurt with a tablespoon of chia seeds and 1 ounce of blackberries. All together for the day is 16.1 grams of net carbs. That's for Sunday. So Monday's lunch is 2 chicken thighs and 4 cups of broth, which is no carbs, with 182 grams raw weight before it was roasted, eggplant, roasted in a tablespoon of coconut oil, which is 5 grams of net carbs, already portioned out in the freezer. I'm going to simmer that all together. So breakfast, coffee, 3 grams of net carbs. Morning snack, coffee again, 3 grams of net carbs. Lunch, chicken, eggplant, and broth, 5 grams of net carbs. Afternoon snack, half a cup of keto coconut milk yogurt with 1 tablespoon of chia seeds, 3.9 grams of net carbs, and 1 ounce of blueberries, 3.4 grams of net carbs. So all together for the day, 18.3 grams of net carbs. And I don't eat dinner. I try not to have my afternoon snack after 2 p.m. Tuesday's lunch is 2 chicken thighs with 4 cups of broth, no carbs, with 1.5 cups of canned green beans. I don't know what the raw weight of that is. Now the green beans is 4.6 grams of net carbs, not 5, because that's what fits in my home canning jars. So altogether lunch is 4.6 grams of net carbs, and I'll simmer that together. There's no added fat, so if I have some, I'll add a tablespoon of bacon grease to the green beans. So breakfast coffee, 3 grams of net carbs. Morning snack coffee again, 3 grams of net carbs. Lunch, green beans and chicken, 4.6 grams of net carbs. An afternoon snack of keto coconut milk yogurt, half a cup with 1 tablespoon of chia seeds, is 3.9 grams of net carbs, with 1 ounce of cranberries, pureed with some added stevia, which is 2.3 grams of net carbs. So for the whole day, let's see what my notes say here, 16.2 grams of net carbs. Wednesday's lunch, 4 cups of broth with my 2 chicken thighs, which doesn't have carbs, with 175 grams raw of roasted green peppers, roasted in a tablespoon of coconut oil, all ready to go in the freezer. Gonna slow simmer that and make like a soup. Breakfast, 1 coffee will be 3 grams of net carbs. Morning snack, coffee again, 3 grams of net carbs. Green peppers and chicken lunch, 5 grams of net carbs because the 5 grams of net carbs worth of green peppers. Keto yogurt with chia seeds, 3.9 grams of net carbs, and we're going to add 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, plus a little bit more liquid stevia. And the lemon juice is 2 grams of net carbs, 2 tablespoons worth. So altogether for Wednesday is 16.9 grams of net carbs. Thursday's lunch is 2 chicken thighs, 4 cups of broth, both without carbs, and 1 serving of already cooked roasted whole okra, roasted in 1 tablespoon of coconut oil. 119 grams worth of okra raw. And that's 5 grams of net carbs. So that makes lunch 5 grams of net carbs. Breakfast coffee, 3 grams of net carbs. Coffee snack, 3 grams of net carbs. Chicken and okra, 5 grams of net carbs. Afternoon yogurt with 1 tablespoon of chia, 3.9 grams of net carbs. And I'm going to add in 2 tablespoons of lime juice with a little bit more stevia. And the lime juice is 2.4 grams of net carbs, making Thursday altogether 17.3 grams of net carbs. And Friday's lunch is our 2 chicken thighs and our 4 cups of broth, along with 98 gram weight of canned pumpkin, which is 5 grams of net carbs, because I recently opened a can of pumpkin and I want to use that up. I'm going to add 1/8 of a teaspoon of cinnamon and some liquid stevia to that, along with 1 tablespoon of ghee. I'll simmer the chicken in the broth, but I'll cook the pumpkin with the ghee and the cinnamon, probably in the toaster oven. Keep it separate from the chicken. So lunch altogether will be 5 grams of net carbs. Let me show you the serving size, because it's a small amount of pumpkin. The pumpkin is a good keto substitute for sweet potatoes. Sometimes I'll have mushrooms on Fridays. Sometimes I'll have avocado. Typically it's something that I haven't grown, because all these other vegetables, they've all been grown in the garden. That's why I have a freezer full of them. So breakfast coffee, 3 grams of net carbs. Morning snack coffee, 3 grams of net carbs. Pumpkin and chicken lunch, 5 grams of net carbs. Afternoon keto yogurt snack with 1 tablespoon of chia seeds, 3.9 grams of net carbs, and we're going to add in 1 ounce of raspberries, which is 1.5 grams of net carbs. So all together on Friday, it's 16.4 grams of net carbs. Saturday, I'm going to have 1 cup of reduced bone broth and 3 pork patties, 4 ounces each. So that's 12 ounces of pork. There's no carbs in those. And I'm going to brown the pork. I'm not going to keep them as patties. Then I'm going to mix the broth with 128 grams raw worth of already roasted red peppers. I've already cooked them, roasted them in a tablespoon of coconut oil, and I've blended them up, and they're in the freezer ready to go. And I'm going to reduce all that with the broth and make like a sauce and mix it all together in the pork. It's one of my favorite meals. Altogether, that's 5 grams of net carbs. Breakfast coffee is 3 grams of net carbs. Morning coffee snack is 3 grams of net carbs. Ground pork with sweet red peppers and broth is 5 grams of net carbs. Half a cup of keto coconut milk yogurt and 1 tablespoon of chia seed snack is 3.9 grams of net carbs, with 1 ounce of strawberries, which is 1.5 grams of net carbs, making Saturday 16.4 grams of net carbs. And today's Saturday, so I have the same thing thawing and ready to go. I also take 4.8 grams of net carbs worth of supplements. I don't normally include it in the videos because I find it, confuses people. But I take 1 omega-3 capsule, 1/4 of a teaspoon of Dulse, which is seaweed, 12 beetroot powder capsules, 12 mixed greens capsules, because I don't like beets, and I got burned out on greens. I just ate way too many and too much salad, but I want the nutritional benefit of both of those, so I take them in capsule form. So it makes my lowest day 20.9 grams of net carbs, and my highest day 23.1 grams of net carbs. I want to take 4 beef liver capsules. Sometimes I'll eat beef heart, but I just have not been able to learn to eat beef liver. But it's highly nutritious. And that's my 1-week plan of my meals. And normally I don't compile everything together in a box, but I did that for this video to show you. I hope that helps you a little bit. I eat very simply. Basically a whole foods approach as much as possible, where Dale eats a lot of different keto recipes and products. But we're both very successful at our keto and low carb diets. So you need to find what works for you. Thank you for visiting Keto Living with Dale and Judith. See you later. Bye-bye.